Good morning from one of my favorite cities in Europe, Zurich. I've been here for just over 24 hours and unfortunately it's already time to go home. I wish it was longer, but due to some unforeseen events explained in my last video, I arrived here 18 hours late than planned. Despite that though, my goal for this trip was to run 36 kilometers down one side of Lake Zurich as part of a marathon training run. I finished it feeling great and with no issues. Needless to say, this trip was a success. With that, it's time to go home. Planning this trip out, I thought it would be a good idea to try out Swiss's 777 in business class to either LA or San Francisco, then make my way back home from either or. San Francisco ended up being the better option, so off to Zurich Flughafen it was. But before I head there, I thought it would be a good idea to maximize my time here and check out more of the city on such an amazing day. I absolutely love this city and I can't wait till the next time I come back. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to check out more of Switzerland. The central station in Zurich has so many trains that make stops at the airport. So frequent that during the day, you shouldn't have to wait more than 15 minutes. First, using the ticket machines can be intimidating, but it's definitely more straightforward now. For the people unfamiliar with Zurich, the transit here goes by proof of payment rather than fare gates. Though the only time I've been checked for tickets on trips are to either the airport or long distance trains. Zurich Airport is interesting as they have check-in counters inside the train station at the airport. The signboard said I could check in here, but the agents insisted I check in at the actual terminal. Getting to the business class lineup, there was a little bit of a lineup here and it took about 15 minutes. For US bound flights, passengers are required to provide an intended US address for visiting passengers. The airline files this and it's submitted to US CBP. I'd recommend doing this all on your phone and inputting all this info to avoid doing this all at the desk. Right now, it's peak time at Zurich, as it's definitely the busiest I've ever seen it here. Not only for local passengers, but connecting traffic too. Security didn't take too long and was easy, but the outbound customs hall was a very different story. A solid 25-minute wait. On top of that, the train to the E-gates at one of the non-Schengen parts of the airport was ridiculously packed. And when I say peak time, I really mean it. Additionally, Swiss does document verification prior to going to the gate for boarding. This is broken down per class, so there was only 2 people in front of me despite the other cutting right in front of me.
To San Francisco?
Yes, thank you. Got it. Thank you.
And right as I showed up to the gate, boarding started 5 minutes later. Talk about good timing. I'm sorry, but I'm not spending time sitting at the lounge on such a gorgeous day. Today's aircraft was this gorgeous 6-year-old Boeing 777-ER, now outfitted with shark skin technology.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, welcome on board Jobii boarding pass.
My seat today was in the forward half of this business class cabin, 4K. Swiss has this great configuration that satisfies both couples and solo travelers. The rows alternate between 222 and 121 in a seating layout. 4K is the first row of business and is one of the 222s. This business class is roughly the same across their whole wide-body fleet. I've gone over it before, so I'll do a quick refresher. First things first, this seat is equipped with a 3-point seat belt. This is only required for takeoff and landing. The touchscreen IFE is definitely on the smaller end, but it's fairly new and tilts back and forth. Right under is a larger than expected storage bin. I could easily fit my laptop in here with no problem. we got a small coat hook to the left side of the screen, and on the bottom of the seat, this is a cubby for storing your shoes. In front of the center console, you'll find the universal and USB power port. Waiting on the top was a Samedi kit and a duty-free shopping menu. I'll get into that a bit later. The trick to this tray table is it has to be fully extended before lowering it. Using it for the first time last year, it was honestly a little hard to figure out. It's nice and sturdy, but you can't leave the seat while it's deployed. On the left hand side, you'll find this nice wood finishing, where you'll find the noise cancelling headphones, a bottle of water, and a coat hook. If you have a jacket, one of the flight attendants will store it in the closet for you during the flight. On top is a reading lamp and light, plus the headphone jack for the IFE. Under the armrest is a touchscreen IFE remote and the seat comfort controls. On top of that is the actual controls for the movement of the seat. A nice big pillow and duvet were waiting at the seat as well.
I honestly hate shoving a camera in my face, but it's been over a month since I've had a drink. About a month of sobriety since I last went to Thailand, so cheers to sobriety.
Transit passengers to arrive at the aircraft, then we are ready for departure for San Francisco. With a flight time of 11 hours and 30 minutes, expect an on-time arrival this afternoon. I hope you already feel comfortable on board with us. I wish you a pleasant flight.
The flight was delayed for about 20 minutes for connecting passengers, but we made up the time in the air. After taking in some breathtaking views, it was time for a lab visit. This lavatory has a really nice look to it and is stocked with great skincare amenities. The IFE is really responsive and has the standard new releases and large catalog of movies, TV shows, and music. I was really hoping this time around I'd get one of those Swiss metal amenity kits, but it was one of these pouch kits instead. Admittedly, at first I was a little disappointed as Swiss doesn't have too many items in their amenity kits. But I was pleasantly surprised when the actual pouch transforms into a packing cube or anything along those lines for storage. And honestly, I could say this is Swiss engineering at its best. I'm sorry Etihad, I criticized you for high Wi-Fi prices. This is definitely the worst I've seen it. 59 Swiss francs is so ridiculous for 20 megabytes. I get Switzerland is expensive, but this is so far a proportion for Wi-Fi prices. Lunch started with a glass of cognac and toasted cashews. For the appetizer, I opted for a cured sea bass. This came with a cheese plate as well. For the main, the beef wasn't available, so the chicken in Pinot Noir sauce and the Rheinenthaler Ribelias slice it was? This is very similar to cornmeal, but the type of corn is native to Switzerland. It has green onions on top and was a nice complement to the chicken. This tasted absolutely great and was filling. For dessert was a lemon and coconut slice, a nice cap to an amazing meal. I didn't even ask for it and one of the flight attendants offered me an already made espresso. I'm not the type to have caffeine after a meal, but seeing as I had some work to do, I gladly accepted it. This was so generous of them. And of course, being an airline from Switzerland, Lindt chocolate was handed out, my favorite. Also, Swiss has some great bottled glacier water available too. To get back on West Coast time, it was time for a nap. As this being the bulkhead row, there's extra space in the footwell. I swear it was 6 feet long. Not as long as I'd like, but 3 hours is pretty good for a nap. I took the time to check out some of the snacks in the galley. We got some popcorn, sponge cake, Ricola, and more Lindt chocolate. There was also some fruit available. I don't tend to look out the window that much during the day due to harsh light coming in, but I couldn't take my eyes off the beautiful landscapes of the Northwest Territories and Northern Alberta, even getting the chance to fly over the oil capital of Canada. Two hours before landing, another small meal service was offered. The options were either a sweet potato salad or gnocchi. I went for the salad with the honey Dijon dressing, which was good but not too filling. I was so hungry that I asked for extras. They had extra gnocchi available and this tasted great as well. And of course, another last round of chocolate was handed out. Things were coming to an end here. Time to finish up work and close the laptop. Coats were returned, casino was almost over, and the Pacific Ocean came into view 11 hours later. I've flown Swiss quite a bit since the ease of COVID restrictions in 2021. Every flight I've taken with them, both short and long haul, has always been so enjoyable. Not to mention the ease of flying with them. Everything is just so straightforward. Other carriers try to make things so complicated. Swiss is straightforward and it just works. The catering was definitely a step up from the last time I flew with them down to Johannesburg, and it just tasted amazing. Swiss staff has always been great, from check-in all the way to the onboard crew. The service director went the extra mile and came by once in a while to check to see if I needed anything. He was even the one that offered me the complimentary espresso. I know people aren't too crazy about the 2-2 business class seating configuration, but you know what, it honestly did bother me that much. And not to mention, the interior of this Swiss 777 looked absolutely amazing, and the small forward half of this business class cabin is definitely a lot more intimate. Under the cloud layer, the Bay Area came into view on the approach to SFO.
Goodbye to you, and we hope that you have enjoyed your time with us. Thank you for flying Swiss, and we look forward to greeting you aboard again soon. We wish you a very pleasant evening or a good continuation of your journey. The local time here is 4:10. Thank you and bye-bye.
This has been such a great experience front to back and was truly a privilege. I can't wait till the next time I get the chance to fly with Swiss.
Hey, thank you so much. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Thanks again for taking the time to watch this, and I will see you all in the next video.